Good afternoon, fourth grade. We're going to continue reading chapter 4 today. But first, we wanted to do this quick write. It's going to get our minds ready for what we're about to read. But describe a time when you changed your mind. What made you change your mind? And was it a good decision? Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready for the focus question. Today we're going to focus in our small groups about how Seth's plan has changed since the beginning of the novel and why has his plan changed. Before we get into that, we need to know 3 vocabulary words. The first one is resourceful, and that's when you're quick and clever when things are difficult. And so this frog is being really resourceful by using a leaf as an umbrella. The second one is scour, and that's when you clean the surface of something by rubbing it really hard. And so we have this lady's like ready to clean or scour. And the last one is annihilate, and that's when you just completely wipe something out. All right, so open up in your book to this page. And as we're reading today, we're going to use our CSPS strategy, but we're really going to focus on Carter and more how he has changed. And this should say he. There we go. All right, so turn to this page in chapter 4 right when we left off. It says, I'm at the top of this page, Sadie just woke up from her dream with Nut. How long was I out? Long time. We can't open portals anymore. It's Osiris's birthday. I remembered my dream with Nut. To my own disbelief, I pulled a sealed envelope out of my pocket. What's that? A gift from the sky goddess, a letter to give to Jeb. And 3 first-class plane tickets to Memphis. Great, we're going to need them. Bast, you're back. Well, with bad tidings, Seth's minion has tracked our scent. Take a look out the viewing window. At the monument's base stood a weird creature. What is it? Some kind of dog? It doesn't have a name? The Seth animal. If it did, you would not want to speak it. It shares Seth's strength, cunning, and his evil nature. How do we stop it? The Seth animal is the perfect hunter. If it has our scent, there's no stopping it. That's messed up. Evasion tactic. Elevator or stairs? So they're trying to figure out how to get away from this animal. Window, says Bast. Horus and Isis both have bird forms. You'll need to use them. Simply imagine yourselves as birds, and birds you shall become. I'll distract the Seth animal and buy you some time. What about you? You can't fly. No, but cats always land on their feet. It's over 100 meters. 170, meet me at National Reagan Terminal and be ready to run. And so Carter and Sadie imagine themselves as birds. What? How'd you do it so fast? Sadie, wait up! Okay, and so they were both able to change themselves into birds. So let's stop right there and talk about Carter. Who is he and what is he like? And we can say Carter used his magic to transform into a bird so he could escape Seth. Carter used his magic to turn into a bird so he could escape Seth. All right, and we can use a quote from this top box up here. It says, National Reagan was so close I could see the planes landing across the Potomac. And you can use a quote from this box as well. The hard part was remembering what I was doing. I knew I was supposed to fly straight to the airport, but I kept getting distracted. Sadie must have been having the same problem because I saw her veer off course to chase a squirrel. I forced myself to fly next to her and get her attention. Okay, and so this quote confirms that he actually did turn into a bird. Okay, and when we're talking about the setting, we know that Carter and Sadie are traveling to the Reagan National Airport so they can escape the set animal. All right, and you can use this quote from the bottom that says, "We landed in the airport parking lot." All right, but let's keep focusing on what Carter's like as a bird. It says, he's having trouble, staying focused, and so Horace is speaking to him and says, "It takes willpower to stay human. The more time you spend as a bird of prey, the more you think like one." "Now you tell me." "I could help. Give me control." "Not today, Birdhead." So Carter is continuing to resist Horace. He's not going to let him take over his body because of what Bass told him about yesterday. If they take over your body, like, you could never be the same. Okay? Turn the page. "I willed myself to turn human. Nothing happened. I closed my eyes and pictured my dad's face. I thought about how much I missed him, how much I needed to find him. Voila! Sadie, are you having trouble changing back?" "Ha ha ha ha! Think about your human life. That helped me to think about Dad." So she's thinking about, their dead dad, and he said, "That's not working. Maybe Bass can fix you." I had Sadie jump into the leather shoulder strap of my bag and ran toward the departure gates. Bass caught up with us near the departure entrance. "Carter, how do you expect to get through airport security carrying a sword?" And what's wrong with Sadie? She can't change back?" Something we'll have to fix later. Stow your things in the duat before you draw attention to yourself." I don't know how to do that. When did you have time to change your clothes?" "By magic, Carter. To open the duat, just imagine a space in the air like a shelf or a treasure chest." "A locker? I've never had a school locker." "Fine. Give it a combination lock. Anything you want." I was skeptical, but I imagined a locker. I gave it a combination using the numbers of three of my dad's favorite basketball players. Imagine opening the locker with your combination. Then hide your things inside. When you need it again, just call it to mind and it should appear. Held out my sword and bag and let them go, sure they would smash to the floor. Instead, they disappeared. Cool trick. Yes, come now, we haven't much time. Okay, so this is more evidence that Carter is growing in his magical abilities. He was able to turn into a bird. He was able to change back pretty quickly. And now he's able to hide some of his things in the duat using magic. Let's keep going. Remember, we're looking for the problem. Turn the page. I never gone through security with a live bird of prey before. I thought it would be cause for a holdup, but Bass flirted with the guards and they waved us through. I was retrieving my shoes when I heard a scream from the other side of security. Moose! Rabid moose! No telling what mortals can perceive. Let's go. So the humans are seeing something totally different than what Bass and Carter are seeing. They think the set animal is a moose. Okay, no, Bass, I can't just let it hurt these people. I'll meet you at the gate. It's my turn to run interference. You realize it'll kill you. Thanks for the vote of confidence. Now scat. And you see Carter is reaching back into the duat to grab his sword. And he's saying, hey, Moose. So you've got no name? They couldn't think of one ugly enough? Set animal is too hard to say. I'll call you Leroy. Okay? And then he smacks him, or he kicks him, and Horace says, nice dodge, Carter. Ugh, Horace, a little help here, please. Okay, and then in this bottom frame, Horace is now helping Carter. Okay, so when we think about our problem, we know Carter ran into the set animal at the airport, and he has to, use Horace's powers to fight him. Okay, and you can use this quote at the top of the next page. My fight with Leroy was hard. Horace's form was a lifesaver. It was just Horace that got in the way. We couldn't work together. Maybe it was his ancient Egyptian. Okay, so not only is he having problem fighting the set animal, he's also having problems working together with Horace to fight the animal. And you can use this quote in box 3. Press pause to write down your answer and play when you're ready to keep reading. Okay, and so he says, swing your capesh. My what? The sword, Carter. God, down, boy. And he's like, then there were the bystanders. Chicken man, get the moose. Which is funny. And then, okay, Leroy, time to meet the locker of doom. And so then he ends up putting the set animal into a locker in the DeWatt. And he says, in the end, it wasn't Horace's magic that threw Leroy off my trail. I remembered my invisible locker in the DeWatt. I wondered if other things could be put there too, large evil things. 13, 32, 33. I imagined my locker opening as wide as it could go. Where did the moose go? Hey, kid, are you okay? I left my sword in the DeWatt and ran for the gate. All right, so Carter solved his problem by imagining his locker in the DeWatt getting really wide, and he threw the set animal in there. All right, and it asks us, what does this reveal about Carter? And if I'm using one of my vocabulary words, I'll say Carter is pretty resourceful. He was able to think really quickly on his feet and solve the problem. All right, so write down about how Carter is resourceful, press pause to write down your answer, and play when you're ready for the paragraph. All right, and so then, Carter makes it to the gate just in time. And it says, what does Carter's experience with Set reveal about him as a person? And so you can also say with the set animal, because that's what it's really referring to. Okay? And we know from our boxes, it reveals that he's resourceful. And then you need to explain how you know.